7:35. Michelle and Ed's here from Baxter County Right to Life. Time to do a membership.
Hey, how are you this morning?
I'm good. It's Friday.
Yes, it is. Yay! Friday's always a good thing. Although I work all weekend, so I'm one of those. Actually, Bob and Linda occasionally call me on the weekends. So yeah, and my other
pull
job.
That a little closer. Let me get a little richer fidelity on there.
That's my other job. My real job.
There you go.
So
time to recruit some members for the Right to Life.
It is. We're doing our spring membership drive, and our goal is to recruit some new members and more churches to join the Baxter County Right to Life movement.
Hang on a minute. Hear that, church? Wake up. Churches, wake up. Uh-huh.
Yeah, we don't have as many churches members as we think we should have. I mean, I really think that when you look at what are the messages, if you're reading your Bible, we should all be members. Mm-hmm. I mean, and your prayer this morning was perfect. You know, we have killed a lot of unborn children, and I don't really think that that's what biblically we are supposed to be doing.
There was actually a Super Bowl commercial that offended the pro-choice, pro-abortion folks because it showed an ultrasound and showing a human life. Do you remember that?
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's
now
funny.
The Super Bowl's political.
Yeah. Is it everything nowadays?
Yeah.
You just can't get away from it. Yeah, I guess I shouldn't get on my soapbox and be political, I guess.
Oh,
but
come on.
You know, I guess I'm at the point in my life where I think that the majority, you know, we always were based on majority rule, and we seem like we're getting away from that, and that bothers me. So
if the minority loses, they go to court and win.
Exactly. And it's everybody wants to sue everybody, and everybody wants to accuse everybody, and nobody wants to be responsible for themselves. And I think that's, you know, probably part of the pro-life movement is, you know, accepting responsibility. And you know, there's a lot of organizations, the Pregnancy Resource Center, you know, who we are big supporters of, who do a great job of educating people about, you know, things that you can do to make those choices more clearly so that you're not faced with a choice about what to do with that child, which really shouldn't be a choice. I mean, a life isn't a choice.
My oldest son and his wife are expecting their first child, and they're just jumping for joy.
How exciting. Of course they are. Yeah. I actually have a friend, and I was one of the only people who knew that they were pregnant because they have had a really, you know, you have people who have a difficult time getting pregnant and cherish that child and want that child really bad. And they just posted some Facebook pictures over the weekend to announce, you know, they're past their first trimester now, to announce it to everybody else. And it's just so exciting.
You know, and I think about our society, we're the throwaway society.
We are. We've thrown away 60 million babies. I mean, that's ridiculous. I just don't even get it.
In my line of work from 40 years ago, make no bones about it, I've been a car mechanic. Mm-hmm. When your car had 100,000 miles in those days, you overhauled the engine, you overhauled the transmission, you started over, you know, put new parts in and kept on going. Even in automotive, we're getting away from that. Very few engines are rebuilt. Very few, you know, why don't you trade that in and get another one? You know, it's a throwaway society. But yet we're doing this to human life. Yeah. Well, you know, so-and-so's pregnant, she don't roll a child, she's going to get an abortion. Whoa.
Well, and there's other choices, you know, and I think that's the whole thing. We are really we're an educational group. That's what we do. We educate people. We have a fair booth that's really big, and we usually do a petition for whatever is the issue right then that we need some help with. We got over 400 signatures at that fair booth this last year. I mean, it was amazing, and a lot of people stopping and talking to us. So we're mostly educational, but we also we put an ad in for Mother's Day and Father's Day in the newspaper, telling moms and dads that we really support them, and that's an important, you know, that's the most important job you have, is being a parent. And those of us who have chosen to be parents, and I happen to be one of those. And we also, other than the fair booth, you know, we do the Life Chain every year, and we support that, and we support other Right to Life groups. We're part of Arkansas Right to Life, and we're big supporters of the Pregnancy Resource Center. Very big.
And I have to bring this up. I mean, I have never been more appalled is not the $100 word I'm looking for, but Planned Parenthood selling aborted fetus body parts. Yeah. This is not a third world country. This is the United States of America, folks. And you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah, it's pretty
We're
disgusting.
actually got a salvage yard now for human body parts of aborted fetuses. I go to the salvage yard for parts for my vehicles. But for babies, come on.
Yeah, that was pretty shocking. But, you know, I hate
you
to
notice that's not an issue in the political realm with any of the candidates. I've not heard anybody other than, well, we wanted to fund Planned Parenthood. And that, to me, that's just shoving it under. They're not bringing out details.
Right. And you know, I hate to say this, but abortion it's huge business. I mean, it's a $477 million a year industry. And Planned Parenthood is one of the nation's largest abortion providers, and they're providing 30% of those abortions. So you know how much money they're pulling in. And it's sad to think that we've put a price on a child's head. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's scary when society gets to that point. And, you know, right to life isn't just about babies either. And people kind of, we don't talk about that as much, but, you know, end of life issues are just as big and getting bigger as the baby boom generation is going into maturity. And, you know, people are living longer and there's more issues and there's health issues and there's all kinds of things. So we're not just supporting, we are pro-life, period. And that's our goal, is to educate people and try to get them to understand those issues. You know, I read a really interesting thing, and we don't really think about it too much. And of course, our news media, if you can call it that, doesn't really talk about this kind of thing. But there's a big issue in China right now because, you know, if they're one child dictate and everybody wanted male children, there are 30 million men in China that have no wives, because those little girls never came into existence. And it horrifies me to think how many lives may have been lost there. But it's not just an issue here, it's an issue everywhere, and something that we need to be involved with.
When humans try to play God, we mess it up.
Well, we weren't designed to be God.
No.
You know, we really were not designed to do that, and we need to kind of stay out of that realm. I think we're much better off if we let him do his job and we do ours.
Yes. So what can we do to get more members for Right to Life?
Well, you can join, and it's very inexpensive. For an individual, it's $10 a year. That's what we charge a church also. And for a family, it's $15 a year. And the best person to get in touch with, even though I am the membership chairman, I'm so busy, but Jim Barris, who is our president, is retired, and Jim has more time to spend. So if you want to give him a call, his number is 492-6902, and he can send you a membership application and some information, put you on our mailing list. We do a newsletter once a month to keep people informed about what's going on. And as part of our membership, you can also get emails from the Arkansas Right to Life and the national chapters, so you know what's going on right now. The big push is we're trying to prevent dismemberment abortion from becoming legal, which that's just the most horrifying thing ever. We're not going to go into details, though kids may be listening. But, you know, there's a lot that we can do, and just people joining and helping us. We are a nonprofit organization. All the money that comes in goes somewhere else, but we are not a 501c3, just so people know that. But, I mean, $15 really, I spent almost $3 this morning on a cup of Starbucks, which I don't usually do, but you know, you're talking a very little amount of money to help support a really great organization. So if... Are you
doing the Father's Day, Mother's Day thing too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I combined my membership with all of that last
year. Yeah, I did too. Yeah. I put some money in for both ads, donations, because I think that's a really important thing. And, you know, we're doing the Mother's Day ad, and we hadn't done one for Father's Day until last year. And we started talking about it and going, now, wait a second. You know, they're out there too, and they're involved, and there's a lot of great dads out there. I mean, we need to support them, and especially young men who are in the position of there's a lot of sad circumstances where they're not always part of decision making, and they need to be.
Is there a program, though, how can I say this? We say, well, so-and-so got pregnant. Well, that's half of the story.
Exactly.
How do we address the issue with the male responsibility?
I think a lot of it's education, and I have to say, I think a lot of that starts at home, and in the churches. I mean, obviously, we talk about some of these things, and when you're talking about your youth, whether it's your own child or maybe somebody else's, I think that needs to be a discussion you have. I had that discussion with my son. Mm-hmm. I mean, he had said something about one of his friends, and I said, hey, if you guys get pregnant, that is both of you. That's not just her. That's both of you. It took both of you to create that child, and that's your responsibility until that child is an adult. Yeah. So don't enter into those things lightly,
So you think us as a society and as churches as a whole avoid that?
Oh, yeah. We don't, we tend to avoid anything that we're uncomfortable with. And I think people
and I'm just going to say it, if it offends somebody who's writing big checks on Sunday.
Yeah. And we have to stop that. Uh-huh. I mean, I have some pretty strong opinions that I generally keep to myself. But,
oh, come on.
But we have to stop that. You know what? We need to take a stand. We're so wishy-washy. We need to take a stand. And this is one of the places where you can do that. Mm-hmm. Ask your church to talk about this. We have contacted most of the churches and offered to come in and talk. We'd be happy to educate your congregation and talk to them as much or as little as they want. We can be as broad topicked or as narrow as they want. And we really just need to educate people about what's going on. And I think we need support from our churches.
And so to join, you can call Jim Barris at 492-6902. Is that correct?
Yes,
Baxter County Right to
he's
Life?
Wonderful. Jim and Susan are amazing. Yes, and they have been part of this movement from day one, pretty much. I mean, the Right to Life movement started right after Roe v. Wade, which is in 1973. So, I mean, it's been out there for a really long time. And it's not going to go away until this issue has been put to rest.
And I know we support Jerry Cox at Family Council as well as the Little Rock Lobbyist Group for Family Values. Mm-hmm. In fact, I need to mention I've got voters' guides on the counter for folks that still want to come by, and I got 25 more coming in. Hopefully I get them sometime today or on Monday, so I have 25 more voters